Hello. The region's schools and colleges are facing a big shake-up as the new coalition government presses ahead with reforming the education system.
Measures announced in today's Queen's speech include expanding the number of academies and allowing communities to set up their own schools. But there are concerns that budget cuts at colleges and universities will result in fewer places for school leavers. Let's get the details now from our chief reporter, Kim Riley, who's in Suffolk.
I'm in fact the smallest town in Suffolk, Clare, and behind me is Clare Middle School. Now, under County Council plans, that's due to close next July, and it means that quite a lot of the older children will have to be bused to Haverhill. Well, the parents don't want that to happen. There's been a vigorous campaign to keep the school open, and we'll hear in a moment just about those plans and see what chance they have of actually reaching a conclusion. But first, let's look a little bit more at the financial position facing some of our universities and colleges. Clearly, some of them are facing swingeing cuts. For the 15,000 students at City College Norwich, courses continue as usual, but behind the scenes, the big squeeze is already underway. Cuts in funding already announced and others to come mean it must find economies of around £6 million over the next 3 years. 100 staff posts are to go, but it says student courses will not be cut.
Colleges like City College Norwich can help businesses, private sector, move out of the recession by helping them find the right people with the right skills. So we're hoping that this new government will look favourably upon colleges like City College and invest in the skills training we all need to help us get out of the recession.
18-year-old Emma Thomas from Norfolk had set her heart on a police career. She was due to start studying police and forensic studies at a college in Hull this September. But just after sending off £200 to reserve her accommodation, a letter arrived saying the full-time course has been withdrawn, following cuts in funding announced by the previous government.
Upset that the opportunity was taken away from me, but angry. You know, how Labour have always been talking about education, 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 and yet that's what they're cutting. You know, it just doesn't go together.
They have offered a 1.5-day-a-week part-time course, which, because it's a part-time course, means that Emma wouldn't be entitled to a student loan. The practicalities of her being able to get up and down to Yorkshire for 1.5 days a week, even if she was able to afford the fees and to afford the accommodation that she'd have to pay for, is completely impractical.
University Campus Suffolk was established in 2007. Its striking buildings symbolised the regeneration of the county town of Ipswich. So what are the prospects now?
Well, we're quite well protected in a way, because I think in the previous funding round we were supported with a 5% increase in our budget, but nonetheless I think the current round of cuts will definitely have some sort of impact on the sector as a whole.
Across the region, universities, colleges and thousands of would-be students are learning that the so-called years of plenty are well and truly at an end. Now let's show you an important document. This is probably the first of its kind to appear on the desk of the new Education Secretary, Michael Gove. The Stour Valley Community School is what they want. Let's talk to Derek Blake. Does it really matter actually what it's going to be called?
No, Kim, it doesn't. Although the words we've chosen accurately sum up what we're trying to achieve here. We're in the Stour Valley. We want children from the Stour Valley to come here. It's a community school, so it's grounded in the community here. And it's a school. And here's the building. It's a purpose-built 11 to 16 school. We want an 11 to 16 school. And here it is, and we hope we can run it from next year.
Now, well, you see, what strikes me is this is pretty urgent. You've got to get your move on, haven't you?
Absolutely. We need decisions this summer so that parents can make their decisions about which school their children should go to in 2011. So it's got to be fast-tracked. We've come up with a really good business plan there, we think, a good application. We need it dealt with swiftly so there can be certainty for the parents. That's one of the problems at the moment. There isn't certainty. We're trying to achieve that. We have a robust plan and we're hoping that that's properly responded to.
Is it really a kind of administrative nightmare, a great mountain to climb?
Well, of course, there's a lot of bureaucracy, but we've produced 200 pages there and we managed to do it, and we think it's a good bid. And, of course, the school exists now, so a lot of the infrastructure is already in place.
And how much enthusiasm have you had from local parents?
Oh, fantastic. It's been a real community effort over the last 3 years. I've come into this relatively late and been part of that bid, but the community spirit here is tremendous. We're fighting very hard to keep the school and get the school for an 11 to 16 school next year by whatever route we can, and we think at the moment this is our best shot.
OK, so the message clearly is Michael Gove, get on with it. Okay?
Yes, please. Yes,
OK,
please.
well, let's just see if this actually does become reality. It's an impressive 200-page document that he's now going to have to look at very closely and decide whether to give it the green light. Back to you.
Kim, thank you very much.
The Duke of York has spent the day in Cambridge, his first official engagement since newspaper revelations about his former wife, Sarah Ferguson. The Duke kept quiet about the allegations while visiting some of the city's high-tech companies.
A day when the Duke refused to talk to the media.
How are you today, sir?
I'll lead the way, sir.
All questions unanswered. Press interest that overshadowed an official visit as trade envoy. To workers at the software company, though, he was happy to talk.
I assume that it is never normally like this, but what you do is extremely important, so please keep up with the excellent work that you do, and we look forward to finding your software in all sorts of places that I never imagined we would. But thank you very much indeed. Good luck.
Well, there were two great things about it. First of all, he stopped and spoke to many of the staff and explained to them, really the importance of the work that they were doing and how it was good to have such strong exports for the country.
Mike Lynch is the CEO of Autonomy. The company he set up with a £2,000 loan now sponsors Mercedes Formula One. With a turnover of £600 million a year, it's the UK's biggest software firm. So, in a climate of government cuts and deficit, how's business?
Well, things have been going very well for us. So we've been seeing our revenues grow 55% year on year. And what we're actually seeing now is a lot of the work that we've done over the years in getting the business moving forward coming to pay off. We had a pretty good downturn where we managed to keep growing, and now that things are getting a little bit better, the growth seems to be accelerating again.
The Duke here, the Duchess in the United States, amid claims she'd offered meetings with her ex-husband for money. At Cambridge Regional College, students said he seemed unaffected by the controversy.
Having a laugh as well as talking about what work I'm doing. But we had a meal with him and he told us a bit what he does.
Whiter than white is how the Duchess described the Duke. Those visited today said he'd attracted coverage for all the wrong reasons. Mike Cartwright, BBC Look East, Cambridge.
Later on Look East, a treat for Grand Prix fans.